It's not a matter of hoping we can do it. If we want to survive, we have to do it. It's kind of a hopeless hope. We have no choice but to just do it. I'd better check the Monokuma file before anything else. The victim was Sakura Ogami. The time of death is estimated to be around 12 noon. The body was discovered in the rec room on the 3rd floor of the school. There's evidence of a strong blow to the victim's head. No other injuries were noted. However, it seems that at some point the victim suffered from violent vomiting of blood. Damn. Let me have a look at that. Okay, someone hit her in the head. No other injuries were noted. However, it seems at some point the victim suffered from violent vomiting of blood. So she was hit in the head, but I don't think that's the cause of death. I think she had to be poisoned.
Hey.
I think the case this time might be a challenge. Why's that?
So...
The only way into the rec room is the door we just came through. Yeah, I was just thinking the same thing. The killer blocked it somehow, but they were still able to leave. And that door had been jammed shut with the chair from inside the rec room. Which means the killer would have had to escape somehow after barring the door. So if the door was blocked from the inside and there was no way in or out till we broke the window, there's like zero escape, right?
In other words...
This is a classic locked room murder. Locked room murder? I guess you might see this kind of in a lot of mystery movies or books or whatever. But could it really happen in real life? And right before our very eyes like this?
Hey.
Are you curious to hear more about what a locked room murder entails? So sure, if you don't mind.
That's fine.
When you break down this kind of murder mystery, there are 4 basic types. The first type is when the locked room is created after the actual crime is committed. This simply means that the killer commits his crime, then through some special method seals the room. This mainly involves some sort of trick involving the locking of the room. Basic approaches include using a string or simple mechanism. There are a number of variations. So for that, all we'd have to do is check the door to see if that's what it was, right?
Correct.
The second type is when the locked room already exists before the crime is committed. Oh?
In other words...
Basically, the killer uses a special contraption or tool from outside to target the victim inside. You push a switch and it fires a handgun, you shoot an arrow through a gap in the door, something like that.
However...
But in this case, that doesn't seem to fit. There are no guns or arrows in the school, and the door doesn't have a gap that would allow it. Yeah, I think we could possibly cross that one. We could probably... I'm sorry. Yeah, I think we could probably cross that one off the list.
It's true.
The third type is when the killer stays in the room until it's opened up. What do you mean by that?
In other words...
They stay hidden, and when the door is opened, they use the confusion to blend in with the group. They pretend they showed up along with everyone else, and that's that. That sounds like it could have been possible, maybe.
It's true.
And the fourth and final type is when it wasn't actually a locked room at all. Not a locked room?
In other words...
By that I mean there actually is an alternate escape route somewhere within the room. You see this a lot in novels and things, but in reality it's generally not possible. Then you think we can cross that one off too?
Indeed.
I believe so, yes. So when it comes to locked room mysteries, those are the basics. So there are 4 possibilities. Then, Kyoko, which of those 4 choices seems the most likely in this case?
It's true.
That's a good question. Answering that should be our primary focus during this trial. But right now I can't really say. I see. The way the killer set up the locked room. Until I figure that out, the truth behind Sakura's death will stay hidden. definitely a tough mystery. I need to concentrate and investigate as much as I can. For Sakura, if nothing else. So I just noticed the blood around the room. Wait, no, that's not blood, it's red. There are shards of glass scattered all around the chair Sakura was sitting on. The glass is all red, and these are the top and bottom sections of a bottle, right? So this must have originally been a bottle. Glass shards on the floor. Huh? There's something else on the ground near the glass. It's a figure. It fits in the palm of my hand. It's a Monokuma figure. Is it a chess piece? I want to look at the blood behind her. There's a blood stain in front of the magazine shelf. It must have come from Sakura, right? But that doesn't make sense. Why is it so far away from when she died? It's when she was fucking vomiting blood, right? Alright, now let's look at this cloth. Could have been used for like chloroform or something, however the fuck you pronounce it. This looks like some kind of wrapper.
Huh?
Oh, that's... Do you recognize it, Hina?
Well,
yeah, I mean, I gave it to her. That's a candy wrapper. Sakura got super upset when she found out Genocide Jack had attacked me, right? So after we left the nurse's office, I gave it to her. I thought it might help her calm down a little. So you gave that candy to Sakura. I found it... That crushes my heart every time. I found a big box of it in the warehouse. I really like them. Actually, as soon as we could get into the warehouse, I took the entire box back to my room. I made sure nobody else could get their hands on them. You really liked them that much?
because, I mean,
But I wanted Sakura to get a chance to try one for herself. That's why I gave it to her. But now they've lost all their flavor. Hina. I feel so bad for her. Alright, so let's investigate the body. Sakura drew her last breath before sitting slumped forward in this chair. It might have just been the way it looked, but it seemed as though Sakura was smiling when we first saw her. There's obvious evidence of a blow to the head Sakura suffered. Normally I wouldn't have any problem believing that's what killed her. But according to the Monokuma file, she had also vomited blood. And I could see a trace of blood on her lips for sure. So what would have caused her to vomit blood? The Monokuma file specifically said she hadn't suffered any other injuries. Alright, so Makoto didn't make a mention of it. So I'll go to assume she wasn't smiling. Maybe her getting hit on the head somehow caused her to start vomiting blood. Not a chance. But Byakuya?
That's fine.
However, your eyes have landed on a most interesting location. Interesting?
Naturally.
Yes, most interesting, don't you agree? No, I don't think I call it interesting. But it does make me wonder. The reason Sakura vomited blood absolutely has to be connected to why she died. Alright, what do you have to say, Aoi?
what the heck?
We already know who did it.
I won't forgive you.
Byakuya, Toko, or Hiro. It had to be one of them. They couldn't stand the sight of her. You agree with me, don't you, Makoto? Well, I don't want to say anything for sure without finding out more. Then let me help you find out more. You see, Sakura asked all three of them to meet with her. You know where? Right here in the rec room. What? After I went to the nurse's office this morning, Sakura and I both left together, right? Well, eventually she went off on her own. But when I saw her again after that, she told me. She said she'd left a note for each of them. She asked them to meet her in the rec room by noon. By noon? The Monokuma file said she died right around then. I'm telling you the truth, I heard it right from Sakura herself. Alright, let's ask them if they got these notes. and I tried to stop her. But she wouldn't listen. She said not to worry, that she just wanted to talk to them. She said a line had to be drawn or something, and this is what happened. If I'd stopped her, by force even, this never would have happened. Hina. It's impossible not to have regrets, I know. But the fact that she had asked those three to meet with her, and she asked them to come to the rec room at noon, the same time and place she ended up dying, it might be good to confirm what I just heard with the three of them directly. I just noticed this broken thing, but we'll look at that after we talk to Byakuya.
What?
What do you want? You're bothering me. There's something I'd like to talk to you about. Make it quick. Is it true that Sakura asked you to meet her in the rec room? So you found out. Interesting. Then it's true? I did receive a note to that effect, yes. But you didn't come? What fool would do what it said and risk being killed by that monster? You could have brought Toko with you and you would have been fine. So you didn't go see her? Of course not. I ripped the note to shreds and threw it away. I haven't seen Sakura today at all. Byakuya says he didn't go see her. Is that the truth? Well, until I can prove otherwise, I have no choice but to accept it as fact.
Come on.
If you're all finished, please remove yourself from my sight. Okay, thanks. I do believe him, because... Yeah, well, I believe he didn't come to meet her. Somehow he could have done this. There's always some weird mystery going on. But, you know, I do believe he genuinely was worried Sakura might try to kill him. There's some kind of plastic container rolling around near the entrance to the room.
So...
It looks like a protein drink, and it's empty. Sakura must have drank it. Everyone knows how much she loves her protein. And she mentioned more than once how protein was good for all sorts of ailments.
Wrong.
I want to take that to heart if I were you. I know. But still, this protein can. It's got a label on it that says Chem A2. That reminds me, Sakura mentioned how the Chem Lab had all kinds of health stuff. So she must have gotten this from the Chem Lab.
Just a second.
But that's strange. Huh? What is?
Hey.
You see what's scattered around the can? Shards of light blue glass. They must be part of the window I broke. They must be parts of the window I broke to get inside.
Correct.
But they aren't just scattered around the can. They're also underneath it. What does that? Why does that matter?
So...
I can't say for sure yet, but you're probably going to want to take note of it. I feel like it'll become an important clue later on. An important clue? I'm not sure I see how. Was the bottle put there after Makoto broke the glass, maybe? No, that doesn't seem plausible. This locker is open, I just noticed. Huh? The locker's open, and there on the inside, it's a handprint.
Why?
What's a handprint doing here? It looks like someone touched the inside of the locker and left a handprint in the dust.
It's true.
And it looks quite fresh, too. I'd say someone was hiding here in the locker, and they left behind a little something extra. So then, maybe the killer hid in here until the locked room was open, don't you think? And during all the confusion, they popped out and joined the rest of the group?
Wrong.
Unfortunately, that's not a possibility. Huh? Why not?
Hey.
Think back. Before we opened the door, we looked inside the room, right? Oh yeah, and the locker was already open at that point.
Indeed.
So there's no way someone could have hidden in there until after we opened the door. Yeah, so then... what does this handprint mean? Maybe they tried to put Sakura's body in the locker and then found out she couldn't fit? I don't know. Oh, it's one of these bottles, the ones that broke. There are 4 red bottles lined up on the shelf. Oh, and that's the figure we found on the ground. And inside each bottle there's some kind of Monokuma figure. Oh, they're all chess pieces. What I'm wondering is how'd they get those figures inside the bottles?
So...
It's no different from your standard ship and a bottle. Huh? You know, where the bottle's opening is smaller than the boat placed inside? You've never seen that? Oh yeah, maybe I have.
In other words...
So this is the Monokuma version of that. A Monokuma bottle, if you will. I feel like I'm finally starting to make sense of things little by little. So right now I'm thinking someone must have hit her on the head with the bottle. The Monokuma bottle's sitting on the shelf. The Monokuma figure was found on the ground. The red shards of glass, which probably started out as a bottle. Which would mean Sakura must have been hit in the head with a Monokuma bottle, right? The shards of glass and the Monokuma figure are evidence of that. So I think it's safe to say that the Monokuma bottle was the weapon. It's not what killed her, though. That same shelf full of magazines. There's all different kinds of magazines here. Alright, nothing important. The clock, maybe? It's around 1 o'clock right now. According to the Monokuma file, Sakura died around 12 noon. So roughly an hour ago. Was that when Kyoko and I were moving alter ego? The chair? The chair was shoved against the doorknob so we couldn't get the door open. There's no evidence that any kind of string or mechanism was used on the chair. In other words, there's no reason to think the chair had anything special done to it. Did we talk to Kyoko?
However...
But for Sakura to have been killed... Yeah, she's not the type who would go down without a fight.
It's true.
And she certainly didn't, I would say. She was the ultimate martial artist, strong in body, mind, and spirit. So how was the killer able to get the upper hand on her? I wonder, did someone get the upper hand? They must have taken her by surprise, right?
Certainly.
They would have needed to if they expected to stand any chance against her. Oh, can I look at the door? This door is the only way in or out of the rec room. The door doesn't have a lock, and there's no evidence that the mountings have been tampered with. The only notable change to the door is the smashed window. Which happened, of course, when I broke it to get inside. There's no evidence that any kind of string or mechanism was used on the door. In other words, I don't see anything suspicious about the door itself. Having examined both the door and the chair, there's no doubt the reason the door didn't open was simply because the chair was shoved up against it. This kept the doorknob from turning and the door from opening. And there was no evidence of the door or chair being tampered with or anything like that. So the killer must have created the locked door from the inside, not from the outside. So how did they get out?
Listen.
Well, Makoto, have you finished with your general investigation? Yeah, I think so, for the most part.
So then...
Then you should probably go talk with people now. I'm on guard duty, so I can't leave. Which is why I've decided you'll go in my place. She's decided? She's gotten a lot more pushy since we had our issue. But she's right, I do have to go and talk to the others. Sakura wanted to meet with 2 other people. I need to hear what they have to say. I can't think of any way the killer could have left. Maybe they did leave and Sakura locked the door with the chair and died later while still inside. Because I'm on the... She must have died from poison. So maybe she blocked the door so the killer couldn't get in. Then she sat on the chair and died, maybe? Then again, Sakura's not scared of a fight, surely. I pressed the doorbell. And after a few seconds...
Who's there?
Ugh, the most negative aura I've ever felt. An aura of total decay.
Well, what do you want?
So you're back to normal. Genocide Jack isn't around anymore.
Don't even say her name. It makes me sick to my stomach. I was in such a good mood, too.
She didn't look like she was in a good mood.
Hey, I was hoping to talk to you about something. Is now a bad time?
Obviously annoyed, Toko slithered out into the hall.
What do you want?
You said you wanted to talk to me about something? I wanted to talk about the fact that Sakura had asked to meet with you.
Well...
I don't know what you're talking about. Byakuya already told me she had asked to meet with him. What? She wanted to meet with Master too? I just said too, didn't I? Just now it's totally obvious, huh? Yeah, pretty much. So can you tell me about it? I admit, I did get the note. But I didn't go see her. I was just scared, so I couldn't bring myself to go. Toko claims she didn't go see her, but can I really believe her? Well, until I can prove otherwise, I have no choice but to accept it as fact. Is that good enough? Then I'm going back to my room. With that, Toko quickly retreated into her room. As I think about it, all three of them would be worried Sakura would kill them because they were paranoid about her being the spy. I pressed the doorbell. And after a few seconds...
You know?
What's up, Makoto? Did you need something? Yeah, actually, I just wanted to check something. It's about how Sakura wanted to meet with you.
What?
How do you know about that?
Could it be?
Did you maybe gaze into my soul? Have your special abilities awakened in you? But I'm not the only one she wanted to meet with. Ogre told me herself, that she asked Byakuya and Toko to come too. What? When did Sakura tell you that?
What?
Oh, well, when she asked me to meet with her, of course. But didn't she write you a note? Yeah, a note.
How about that?
She gave it to me in person, and she happened to mention the others, like in passing. I gotta be honest, this is super suspicious. So then you went and met with Sakura.
You got it all wrong!
No way, I totally didn't. Why would I ever do that? Yeah, definitely suspicious.
Actually...
The last time I saw Ogre was when Hina got hurt and I took her to the nurse's office.
Don't look at me!
I haven't seen her since then. While I'm here, could you show me the note she gave you? Do I still have it? Let's see. Hiro was feeling around in his pockets.
Hey, come on!
Now see, Hiro says Sakura gave him the note personally, but then he says that he never saw her. So which is it, Hiro? Come on. Oh, sorry, it looks like I don't have it anymore. With a big goofy smile on his face, he pulled his hands back out of his pockets. When he did, I saw something flutter to the ground. Something had fallen out of Hiro's pocket. It's the candy wrapper. Huh?
What?
Quick as the wind, Hiro snatched it back up again and shoved it back into his pocket.
Hey, come on!
Sorry, just a bit of trash. I forgot to throw it out. Trash?
What?
Anyway, I can't deny that Ogre asked to meet with me, but I never went. So, well, if you'll excuse me. Before waiting for a reply, Hiro quickly slipped back into his room. Hiro said that was just trash, but there's no way that's all there was to it. It's the candy wrapper, come on. Okay, so I've heard from Toko and Hiro. What next? I'll definitely have to look at the actual crime scene again, but on top of that, maybe I should find out more about the protein can we found on the floor of the rec room. I'm sure it must have come from the chem lab. So where should I start? Chem lab.
What?
Makoto, did you have your eye on the chem lab too? Just make sure you don't get in my way. Yeah, I got it. I think what you meant to say was, yes sir, I understand. So, once again, Hiro is the obvious suspect, but... I don't think it's him. So did you find out anything? So somehow I could sense him saying, leave me alone without him even having to say it. What's this? Is this something spilled on the ground? This is my first time seeing the shelf, but I just can't get over how big it is. I should probably take a closer look at it. It looks like 3 shelves have been connected together to make one giant shelf. But more important right now, what's that powder that's been spilled in front of the shelf? I have to be careful not to step in it. There's a bunch of yellow powder scattered on the floor. I'd better not leave a footprint. I'm sure it's relevant. There's a broken bottle in front of the shelf. Is this where all the powder came from? It looks like the bottle had a label on it. Chem C4. Would you like to hear something interesting? I was on the 4th floor this morning checking things out, and at that point this room wasn't like this. Then this powder must have been spilled.
So in other words...
That's right, it could only have been around the time of the incident. If that really is when it happened, it must be related to the case somehow. Source of the powder. Alright, so really quick. That one is called C4, I believe. Chem C4. The bottle where the Chem A2. Oh, footprints. I didn't even notice. These are footprints. They're only in front of the left shelf. How do these footprints relate to the scene as a whole? We may need to sketch out the floor plan. By we, do you mean me? How kind of you to offer. With an insufferable smirk, he handed me a piece of paper and a pen.
What?
Well, let's go. Chop chop. Okay. So I got to work, and before long I'd drawn up a sketch of the room. So how's this? Not bad. For you, I mean. For me?
I see.
So when you look at it like this, interesting. It would appear that whoever left these footprints only had business at the leftmost shelf. They came in, went straight to that shelf, did whatever they had to do, and then left. That's what the footprints tell me.
I see.
These footprints must be...
It's certainly possible.
Makoto, are they yours? No!
What?
Okay then, let me see your shoes and I'll confirm their size for myself. I couldn't think of a reason not to, so I quietly did what Byakuya said. I see, your feet do appear to be too big. Unfortunately, I must admit, these are not your footprints. Unfortunately? But with how clear these prints are, it should be quite easy to determine who they do belong to. That these prints are a really valuable clue. I should probably take a good hard look at that powder. There's a bunch of yellow powder scattered on the floor in front of the shelf. There's also the remains of a broken bottle. It looks like the bottle was labeled Chem C4. Also, it looks like someone left some footprints in the powder. Based on the positioning of the prints, whoever it was only went to the left side of the shelf. According to Byakuya, the powder would have had to have been spilled right around the time of the incident. That's all I can tell for now. Alright, let's look at the shelf. Let's see, what's on this shelf? There are all kinds of dietary supplements and different medicines. Chem A2. Is that the one Sakura had? Yeah, Chem A2. It's right there. The protein drink we found in the rec room probably came from this shelf. All the containers on this shelf are labeled with the letter A and a number. So I guess I consider this part of the shelving until section A. Huh? But wait. There's one bottle here that's labeled Chem C9. Could someone have put it here on accident? Shelf B? So on this shelf is... looks like a bunch of chemicals that I have no idea what they are. They're reagents. Put simply, they're used in experiments to bring about a chemical reaction. How have you lived in such ignorance for so long? It must truly be bliss. Isn't that kind of harsh?
What?
What, you think studying science and mathematics has no practical application in the real world?
That's fine.
The words of a lifelong loser, which I suppose suits you well. I didn't even say that. Anyway, that doesn't matter right now. I need to focus on the shelf. All the containers on this shelf are labeled with the letter B and a number. So I guess I can consider this part of the shelving until section B. Unit section B. I don't see anything out of the ordinary here. In which case, I don't think I have to worry too much about the shelf. C. On this shelf is... one look and I can tell it's nothing but dangerous chemicals. These look like poisons and other powerful chemicals. All the containers on this shelf are labeled with the letter C and a number. So I guess I can consider this part of the shelving unit section C. I should try to find out more about the shelving unit. It looks like it's split into 3 sections. Section A has dietary supplements, Section B has reagents, and Section C has lethal chemicals. Sakura must have gotten the protein powder from Section A. But what concerns me is that in Section A, there was a bottle with a label from Section C. What was a bottle of poison from Section C doing in Section A? There's definitely something going on there. Someone messed up and didn't put it in the right spot. I've already taken a good look at the chem lab. Maybe I should take another look around the rec room. I'm not sure what's still there that you could find.
Hey.
So Makoto, how's your investigation going? I told Kyoko what Toko and Hiro had told me.
I see.
So along with Byakuya, they're both claiming they didn't go see her. But it's all too convenient. Someone must be lying. Someone's lying.
Anyway...
well, I've made some progress of my own. Sakura's body, the shelf of magazines, and the Monokuma bottles. These 3 things have revealed new clues. You do well to look them over one more time. Okay, the magazines. Kyoko said the magazine shelf was hiding a clue of some kind. Clue. Huh? This magazine is upside down. Did someone put it back that way on accident?
Hey.
If something catches your eye, it's important for you to explore that in detail, don't you think? Yeah, you're right. I picked up the inverted magazine and flipped through it. Toko. This is... on one of the pages near the center of the magazine, a word has been written in bold, bloody letters. And it said Toko. Could this be... a dying message?
Correct.
Then it would appear you found it. Kyoko, is this...
So...
It is indeed a dying message. Someone used their finger to write it. A dying message.
However...
But just to be clear, I'm not the one who put it back upside down. It was already like that when I found it a little while ago. I made sure to put it back exactly as I found it for the benefit of others who might come looking. Hey, is that... that says Toko, right? Yeah, it looks like it.
What the heck?
She's the killer, right? Well, it hasn't been confirmed yet.
I won't forgive you.
It's settled. She's the killer for sure. That's conclusive evidence, right? We can use it to corner the killer. I can see why you would think that, but it just seems too easy. If anything, it makes me that much more suspicious. I think the killer must have wrote it. Can I see Sakura's fingers? According to Kyoko, there's still something to be discovered from Sakura's body.
Just a second.
Just staring off into space isn't going to help you figure anything out. Well, yeah, I know, but...
Hey.
Don't you think you might need to actually examine the body? You're saying I need to touch her.
Whew.
There's no getting around it. Unlike me, Kyoko didn't recoil at the thought of touching a dead body. She was completely unemotional. It's the kind of thing I've grown perversely used to. Although there are still some times. I can't believe how calm you are. No matter how many times I see a dead body, I can't get used to it.
It's true.
That's totally normal. Then how can you...
So...
I imagine it's because I've had plenty of opportunities to touch dead bodies in the past. What? Sorry, never mind.
Hey.
More importantly, look here. That's the powder from the chem lab. Her shoes?
Correct.
You see the yellow powder on her instep? Yeah, it really stands out.
I see.
That powder is clue number 1.
Hey.
Next is the wound to her head. Look carefully.
It's true.
Actually, even telling you that, it's incredibly difficult to spot, so let me just explain.
It would seem...
It would appear that she didn't suffer a single blow, but instead received 2 blows to the head. 2 blows?
Indeed.
Interesting, wouldn't you say? And there's one more interesting thing.
Correct.
Both of her hands were spotless. There's absolutely no trace of blood on either one.
It's true.
So that's what I learned from examining her body in detail. Alright. Let me have another look at that. Alright, there's no blood on her hands. So, she didn't write that message. I can't believe she was able to learn all that just by looking at her body. I don't think anyone but Kyoko could have pulled that off. I think Kyoko said she found a new clue involving the Monokuma bottles. Something new, something new.
Hey.
So, did you figure it out? There's a hidden correlation between all the bottles. Pay attention and you're sure to find it. A correlation? Hey Kyoko, can't you just tell me what it is?
So...
I don't mind guiding you towards clues, but giving you my conclusion isn't a good idea. Each person needs to come to their own conclusion so that everyone can have confidence in the outcome. And it's not just because you don't trust me, right? No answer? I do trust you to a degree. Otherwise, I wouldn't have told you anything to begin with. Only to a degree?
Hey.
Actually, there's one other thing about the Monokuma bottles that's bothering me. I'd like to do an experiment to confirm it. You don't mind helping me, right? An experiment?
Anyway...
Can you gather up all the pieces of the broken Monokuma bottle? Try to get the smaller pieces too. Huh? Are you sure it's okay to mess with the crime scene like that?
That doesn't matter.
I've already done a thorough investigation, so it's fine. And that obnoxious Byakuya's not here, so...
So then...
Anyway, I need to get something from the chem lab. While I'm going, try to gather up all the glass. With that, Kyoko left the room. I really don't know what this is about, but... What choice do I have? I better just do it. I took the broom and dustpan and got to work collecting all the broken bottle pieces. And just as I finished up... Sorry to keep you waiting.
So then...
Is everything ready? Then let's get to work. So what kind of experiment are we doing?
In other words...
I've got a scale from the chem lab. We're going to use it to compare weights. Compare the weights? Of what? The pieces of glass you collected in one of the Monokuma bottles that's still intact. Why do you want to do that? That's the point of the experiment. It'll make sense when we're done.
Listen.
First, let's compare the weight of the two normal Monokuma bottles. It's balanced.
In other words,
Which means each Monokuma bottle weighs about the same. Which makes sense. The Monokuma figures inside are basically the same, and nothing else could really affect the weight.
so then,
Now here comes the important part. Put all the pieces you picked up on one side of the scale. Now what might we expect to see? Well, a normal assumption would be either they'll balance out or the pieces I collected will be lighter. I did my best to get them all, but there's a chance I could have missed some here and there.
so then,
Okay, then let's give it a try. Huh? The broken pieces are heavier? How is that possible?
I knew it.
Just as I thought. What?
In other words,
The results of our experiment and the correlation between each of the bottles put it all together?
hey,
And I believe you will arrive at one very persuasive conclusion. So what do you think? It's all on you.
Whoops! You caught me sleeping. Your investigation was just so boring I couldn't stay awake. Should I do it? Is it okay? Can I? Okay, then let's begin the class trial. You know where to meet, right? Please go through the red door on the first floor of the school. See you soon.
It's already time, but the mystery of the locked room is still only half solved. At this point, whatever happens will have to happen in the class trial. No, not whatever happens. I have to make something happen. Yasuhiro is the obvious suspect, but I don't think it's him. It's not Toko either. Somebody's framing her. Then it would have to be Byakuya? Or Kyoko? There's no way it's Aoi. Oh my gosh, there's only fucking 5 people. Monokuma made his announcement and everyone began to meet up one after another. And then... the ultimate martial artist! A locked room murder mystery!
what?
What the? Oh, I've just recently discovered the power of emoticons. Like, no matter how awful something is, if you toss in a smiley face, it turns positive.
Yes, indeed.
For example, you're at a picnic and you find a dead body. This is just plain creepy.
Well,
And how about the reverse?
phew.
No matter how great something is, if you put in a sad face, it makes it look super negative.
Yes, indeed.
For example, do you have 100 friends?
What?
He's right, that does make it seem sad.
I can't wait.
Now then, please get on the elevator. I'll see you all down there. What the hell was that? I don't get it.
Just the worst.
I don't get you guys. How can you act so casual after murdering someone?
Don't look at me!
I don't think I'm acting casual.
Don't be mean!
I mean, I didn't murder anyone.
What the heck?
I'm completely innocent. How dare you call me a murderer?
What the heck?
Whatever. Either way, the truth will be revealed soon enough. Because there can be no doubt, one of us is the culprit. The killer, the one that murdered Sakura. She was stronger than anyone I know. And yet someone killed her. And that person is here? That person is one of us? Oh man, this is so hard. I wish I thought to look at... No, it probably wouldn't have been relevant. I was thinking maybe if we go look at Alter Ego to see if he's still there, but it probably wouldn't have let me go in there anyway.
Don't look at me!
I said it before and I'll say it again. It wasn't me. Oh, the best defense. Guys, I promise it wasn't me. The culprit is one of us. Make no mistake about that.
What the heck?
Because I didn't do it. How many times do I have to tell you?
What the heck?
How can you just stand there and say you didn't do it without even breaking a sweat?
Hey,
Standing around isn't going to do any good. Let's get going. Alright, let's... This elevator's gonna look so small now. Come on, it's time to put an end to this. I made my way toward the elevator. With each step I took, I felt like I was moving further and further away from my goal. I could feel a chilling fear running through me, trying to make me rot from the inside out. No matter how many times I go through this, it never gets any easier. We climbed into our steel prison in total silence. We watched the doors close and felt it begin its sinister descent. The elevator lowered, uttering its all too familiar clunking sounds. It fell lower and lower, and as suddenly as always, the ride was over. The doors opened once again. Oh, we got an Egyptian theme this time. Just the 6 of you, huh? Really?
This is kind of depressing.
That's so few. You must be so lonely. You say that like it's not your fault. We're all that's left. I wonder, will the class trial end with one less classmate again? Or will your school life come to an end completely?
Now then.
Now then, are we ready to begin? You know the drill. Find your assigned seats. Oh boy, here we go again. And so the curtain opened for the 4th time. A deadly judgment, a deadly deception, a deadly betrayal. A deadly riddle, a deadly defense, a deadly faith, a deadly class trial. Do you want to save the data? You know, something I was thinking about. I never expected Yasuhiro to make it this far in the story, to be honest. And, he's the obvious suspect, but like... I don't know, is that too meta for me to say, oh, he's too obvious? I don't know. And I don't think it's Toko, because Sakura didn't write that message. There's no blood on her hands. Alright, let's go. No doubt the chem lab is gonna have the...
Let's begin with a basic explanation of the class trial. So, your votes will determine the results.
Anyway, I was saying that no doubt whatever happened in the chem lab will be where the answer lies.
If you can figure out who done it, then only they will receive punishment. But if you pick the wrong one, then I'll punish everyone besides the blackened, and the one that deceived everyone else will graduate. Now then, where to begin?
We already know who did it.
We don't now, we calm down.
Whoa, deja vu.
The one who killed Sakura is one of the people that hated her. Byakuya, Toko, or Hiro. It was one of you.
Idiot.
I had nothing to do with it.
Yeah! I'd never kill someone, no way!
I don't want to hear your stupid excuses.
Hina seems really sure that one of those 3 is the killer. But she must have some reason for believing that. Look at all these crossed out pictures, man.
It was one of you. One of you killed Sakura.
Let me check Awie's account really quick. Sakura had written notes to Toko, Byakuya, and Yasuhiro. Alright.
And what reason do you have for saying so?
Because you all had a motive. You hated her.
Is that it? That doesn't make any sense.
That's the only reason you have her accusing us?
That's low. That's about as low as you can get.
Some concrete reason why Hina suspects those three specifically. I'm sure she's mentioned it before.
It was one of you.
I know where
one
to
of
do
you
it.
killed.
And
I
what
wanted to
reason
hear
do
the
you
whole
have?
thing
Because you
first.
all you hated her.
Is that it?
That's the only reason you have her accusing us?
No, that's wrong. Another reason you suspect them is because Sakura wanted to meet with them, right?
Yeah, and that was right before she died. So there's no doubt about it. One of those three killed her.
I can't disagree with Hina. There's good reason to suspect all three of them. Then does that mean one of them did it? I mean, if it wasn't one of them, then it's between Kyoko and Aoi, but no, they wouldn't. Pocket trash.
The fact that Sakura wanted to meet with all three of them,
That'd be the candy
there's
wrapper.
no way that's not suspicious. One of you is absolutely guilty.
I don't deny that she wanted to meet with us, but I never went to see her.
I didn't either.
Yeah, same here. I never saw her.
Liar!
No, that's wrong. Hiro, when we were talking before, you dropped a small piece of paper, remember?
So, real quick, I wanted to say, I like how passionate and direct Aoi is being in this trial. Like, she wants justice. Like, a lot of the trials, she does seem like kind of the airhead of the group. The last time with Hifumi and Taka, she was more emotional then, because that's her whole arc of how upset and depressed she was getting about this whole situation and her friends dying. But this one, she feels so personally involved. I love it.
It was white with red polka dots.
What's that got to do with anything?
Red polka dots? That's gotta be the wrapper from the candy I gave Sakura.
Yeah, see, Aoi's got a good head on her.
No, it's,
Ever since we got into the warehouse, I totally monopolized that entire box of candy. So there's no way a single one of them was left in the warehouse.
In that case, Hiro, where did you get that piece of candy?
From Sakura! It's the only explanation.
Well, I mean, yeah, sure I got it from her, but she gave it to me forever ago. It doesn't have anything to do with what happened to her.
When? When did she give it to you?
The last time you saw Sakura was when Hina had to go to the nurse's office, right?
Yeah, so I must have got it sometime before then.
What Hiro said can't be right. Yeah, did Hina give her the candy after? Let me see. Yeah, after Aoi was taken care of, she gave the candy to Sakura. Because Sakura could only have gotten the candy after the incident in the nurse's office. And the reason I know that is Sakura loved candy too much to share. When Sakura got that candy.
I'm not sure about that, Hiro. Hina didn't actually give Sakura the candy till after she left the nurse's office. So if that was the last time you saw her, there's no reason you should have had that candy.
The trial feels so fucking empty.
Damn it! I mean, what I meant was, oh, that's right! I did meet up with her in the rec room. You got a problem with that?
Yeah, why are you lying about it?
Why the sudden hostility?
But we just talked, that's all. I didn't do anything, you gotta believe me!
Why did you lie?
You're acting incredibly suspicious.
You're acting incredibly suspicious!
More hostility.
It's not just normal hostility! You're the real culprit! I even have proof!
Why didn't you mention this proof before, Yasuhiro? Come on!
Proof? What are you talking about?
I'm talking about her shining message.
What would a shining message even be?
At the scene of the crime, she had written out Toko in her own blood, right? It was her dying message. Just like what you guys were talking about with Sayaka.
Why do you know that?
That's true. I saw it for myself.
See? See? Toko did it!
What are you saying? No way! I didn't do it!
You just don't know when you're beat, do ya?
Hiro, hold on. When did you see that dying message of hers?
Huh? Well, when we found Ogre's body. Duh.
But if you recall, Hina was very adamant about keeping you away from the scene of the crime. So it's hard to believe that's when you actually saw the message for yourself.
Huh? Hold on. Then when Kyoko found the magazine with the tiny message, then it was on the magazine shelf.
I got it! Kyoko, you found the magazine on the magazine shelf, right?
That's right. Looking through the shelf, I found the magazine with the dying message on it. I found it right there at the scene of the crime, after we'd started the investigation.
If that's true, then what Hiro just said doesn't really make sense, does it?
Doesn't make sense?
I didn't catch it. What did he say?
What doesn't make sense? Everything I said makes perfect sense!
There's definitely something strange about it. Kyoko found the dying message during the investigation, in which case, that clearly contradicts what Hiro told us. What did he say? I missed it. That is a wrap, my friends. I'm Agent 46, and I really hope you enjoyed. So, I should apologize for the insane delay on this video. It took way longer than it should have. I've been a bit lazy. I'm sorry. So, yeah, I'll see you guys next time when we get into Sakura's trial, which is honestly one of my favorites. I love it. I know I say that every trial, but it's true. I love them all. They get better and better and better and better and better. So, we'll find out who killed her, why, all this other weird stuff, you know, the mysteries, and I really hope you enjoy it. If you enjoyed this video, please drop a like, subscribe if you want to see more, and drop a comment to tell me what you think. We'll have a nice little chat. You and I, you know, very lovely, lovely people. I'm being a bit weird. So, that's a wrap, guys. I'll see you guys next time on Let's Play Danganronpa. Trigger Happy Havoc. Stay safe and stay happy. I love you all.